Before we begin today, just a quick thank you to Mayor Sandra Burry. Sandra, thank you much for your hospitality. We are delighted to be here in Oakland. There's Sandra over there. And also, very special congratulations to the Oakland Chamber of Commerce. They just celebrated their 70th anniversary. Way to go, guys. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jim Garrett. I'm president of the Bureau, and on behalf of our board of directors and staff, we are truly delighted that you have been able to join us here today. At last year's annual meeting, we celebrated our 30th anniversary, and this year we wanted to convey the power of tourism, the local hospitality heroes that really make it happen, and how the Bureau staff compares them to like superheroes. Superheroes like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Captain America. And with all the superpowers they possess, they have the ability to fight bad guys, overcome all obstacles, and do really good things. Take a look at the power of tourism. And the power of tourism, the economic impact of tourism, the value that the hospitality industry brings to our communities, generating tax revenues, and most importantly, the thousands of jobs created from the staff at the front desk, greeting guests, to the hospitality heroes behind the scenes that bring it all together to make it all happen. Chicago Southland faces tough competition. Meetings, conventions, trade shows, and sporting events don't just magically appear at the front door. A tremendous amount of collaboration with our hospitality industry partners, our restaurants, entertainment venues, transportation companies, hotels, motels, all the support departments, sales, marketing, front desk, catering, the cooks, the chefs, housekeeping, maintenance, administration, IT, and so many more, all working together to bring it together and make it happen. Everyone here today and everyone helping to bring it together, they are power, and that's really what it's all about. And after today, we're going to meet some very special people, some local hospitality heroes who exemplify the power of tourism. The economic impact of tourism on the state and state level is impressive. And in 2016, the governor's office reported that over 110 million visitors came to experience the state of Illinois. They spent more than $35 billion and generated over $2.6 billion in state and local taxes. The governor would say that's a lot of power. The hospitality industry is all about jobs. In Illinois, tourism directly supports over 8 million jobs and supported another 6.7 million indirect jobs. That's over 15 million. That also is a lot of power. The Convention Bureau enjoys a close working partnership with the Illinois Hotel Lodging Association, Choose Chicago, and the Illinois Office of Tourism, and many others. And I would like to acknowledge and thank Corey Jobe, Director of the Illinois Office of Tourism, for doing such a wonderful job, always thinking 360 creative. And this year, they launched an award-winning marketing program, Are You Up for Amazing? Here's a sample. Yes, Illinois is amazing, and every day we also see new, amazing products that you might wonder who made it or where did it come from. Well, the Illinois Office of Tourism took this idea and initiated a new marketing program featuring Made in Illinois products. The Bureau submitted several Made in Illinois Chicago Southland products, and there are 3 companies and products that were selected as the most notable Chicago Southland products: Homewood Bats, Frankfurt Spirits, Craft Distillery, and Lawton Glass in Crete. All are now featured on the Made in Illinois website, so check it out. Some pretty cool things. As I mentioned earlier, the state of Illinois enjoyed another record-breaking year for tourism. And looking a little closer to home, I'm happy to report that the Chicago Southland had another extremely productive year as well. And in 2016, over 1.25 million room nights were sold, which generated over $107 million in hotel room revenues. Helping to contribute to these numbers, the Bureau staff attended 30 industry trade shows and met with over 1,000 meeting and event planners. These face-to-face appointments create a heightened interest to consider the Chicago Southland. These 30 trade shows generated 66 site visits, which is the first step to converting a prospect into a customer and bringing another new piece of business to our region. Social media channels have also evolved into important avenues for increasing Chicago Southland's visibility and customer engagement. For example, social media posts for sporting events like the National Paintball Tournament held at Chicago Gaelic Park in Oak Forest, the U.S. Log Rolling Open held in Orland Park, the NCAA Crusader Classic Collegiate Bowling Tournament held in Richmond Park, the Chicago Southland Dragon Boat Festival in Blue Island, the Women's PGA Championship in Olympia Fields, and the 13 equestrian events held at Balmoral Park in Crete, and many others have all contributed to the 1.34 million social media impressions for the Chicago Southland. And on top of that, the Bureau also logged over 100 million earned media impressions, our highest ever, which had an estimated advertising equivalency of over $338,000. This year, the marketing department also redesigned our website to provide valued information for all market segments. The website is also designed to let visitors access information from any device at any time. Last year, the Bureau printed over 175,000 copies of various publications, including visitor guides, festival and event publications, discount booklets, and many others. And here's a preview of our 2018 visitor guide, which is now in development and will be targeted for distribution in January. The Bureau's Frontline Ambassador program continues to grow, and a total of 178 individuals have gone through the training program and are now Chicago Southland accredited Frontline Ambassadors. Congratulations to you all. For the 5th year, the Bureau partnered with United Way, the Chicago Southland Hotels, for our annual April Food Day event. This charity project continues to grow. And this year we collected a record 109,000 pounds of food products, which were distributed to local food pantries. The Bureau, along with the Mokena Park District, worked on another community charity project, Turn 2 for Youth, and collected 1,700 pieces of baseball and softball equipment, which was later distributed to children in poverty-stricken areas. The Bureau is also about economic development, job creation, and encouraging new product development, like the 92-room Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Mokena, which is targeted to open in the spring of next year and hiring 20 staff. The new Wood Springs Suite Hotel in Tinley Park will have 123 rooms with a staff of 20, with a target opening date scheduled for January. The Bureau also has several other hospitality and sport development products online or in our pipeline and on our radar. We're continuing to work on those as we move forward. Toyota Park in Bridgeview recently completed their 100,000 square foot multi-use soccer dome. This will give the Bureau an additional competitive edge in attracting more indoor sporting events to the Southland. Toyota Park is also expanding plans and will soon be increasing the number of outdoor soccer fields to 5 and possibly more, giving us the added opportunity to attract even more traveling sporting tournaments to Bridgeview. Last year, HITS, which stands for Horse Shows in the Sun, purchased Balmoral Park in Crete. And since then, Tom Strusseri, president and CEO of HITS, has invested millions of dollars and has transformed this historical landmark into an international horse jumping complex. In May of this year, we witnessed the rebirth of Balmoral Park and celebrated the grand reopening of this iconic complex. HITS Balmoral Park launched their first season of 13 premier hunting and jumping equestrian events, attracting thousands of national and international competitors. This is their first year. It has been highly successful, and at the current pace will evolve Balmoral Park into a crown jewel destination for the Chicago Southland. Last October, many of us joined Mayor Frank Flesher and other Mokena dignitaries for the groundbreaking ceremony for the Accelerate Indoor Speedway. This new 100,000 square foot, state-of-the-art, high-performance, high-speed go-kart complex will have 80 employees and is targeted to open in November. Engineered for corporate team building, family entertainment events, local residents and visitors, Accelerate Indoor Speedway will generate high-speed adrenaline and the challenge of traveling at nearly 50 miles an hour, 2 inches off the ground. How cool is that? In December of last year, the Bureau was notified by Little League International that their Central Region headquarters and sports complex would be moving out of Indianapolis and relocating to a new location somewhere in their 13 Central State region. We teamed up with the Village of Madison and submitted a comprehensive proposal, and later learned that Little League had received over 70 proposals from 13 states. Some pretty tough competition. A few months later, we were informed that Little League had narrowed down their list from 70 to 30, then from 30 to 10, then 10 to 5, and Madison was still in the hunt. Little League then came in for a one-day site tour to meet with Madison officials and inspect the proposed site, the 26 acres shown here. A month later, we learned that it had been narrowed down to 3: Zionsville, Indiana, Westville, Indiana, and Matteson, Illinois. And that's where we are right now, waiting for a phone call. The significance of Little League relocating their headquarters and building a new state-of-the-art complex in Matteson would evolve our region as a new Midwest sports destination, giving us the ability to attract more state, regional, and national baseball and softball tournaments to the Chicago Southland. And everyone benefits. We're not there yet, and I would like to thank President Sheila Curran, Brian Mitchell, Anthony Burton, Ben Wilson, and Laverne Shirley for doing the heavy lifting on this project. Governor Rauner, thank you also for your support, and thanks also to those very special people that stepped to the plate and contributed financially or provided in-kind products or service to this regional effort. It's now down to 3, so stay tuned. And today, this was a quick snapshot. For a closer look at the Bureau's performance for 2016, you can check out our annual report or go to our website shown here. I also want to thank our Board of Directors for their continued and valued support as well. They're all shown here, and all generously give of their time and contribute their talents to support our mission. Their names are listed in today's program and also in our annual report. Thanks also to our Executive Committee, Amish Patel, Chairperson, Daniel Fitzgerald, Vice Chairperson, Gloria Morningstar, Secretary, Carrie Freiling, Treasurer, and Vicki Smith, Past Chairman. I would like to take a moment to proudly introduce some very incredible superheroes that I have the opportunity to work with every day, and that's the staff of the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Sally Schlesinger, Executive Vice President.
Mary Patchen, Director of Sales.
Joel Kester, Sports Sales Manager.
Christy Stevens, Sales Manager.
Toby Fitzpatrick, Sales Manager.
Kim Koslowski, Director of Marketing.
Lauren Petrakis, Communications Manager.
Lynn Enningenberg, Director of Finance and Administration.
Tegan Lineski, Office Manager.
Bernice Shive, Receptionist.
You guys rock. Thanks for all you do. And a special thanks to another super Wonder Woman, my wife, Peggy. Looking at the big picture, the Bureau had another very successful year. And I'm happy to report that the hospitality industry in Chicago Southland is healthy, vibrant, and continues to grow. So thank you to everyone here today, our legislators, our mayors, our industry partners, our stakeholders, and in my book, everyone here is a superhero. And most importantly, thank you for the trust you place in the Bureau. We will continue to reach. Today we have a very special guest, someone who truly understands the power of tourism and the economic value of job creation for the state of Illinois. It is my pleasure to introduce the governor of our state, the Honorable Bruce Rauner.
Hey, everybody. We are very, very honored. We're blessed. We have one of the great leaders in Illinois, one of the great leaders in America for tourism and conventions and growth in this economy. Let's have a round of applause for Jim Garrett and all the great work he does. Yeah, Jim. Great job. Good to be here. And listen, we are also very blessed. We've got 2 outstanding leaders. They're here with us today. It's been an honor for me to work with them. They are all for you. They are all about economic growth and marketing our wonderful state and our great city of Chicago. Round of applause for Corey Jobe and David Whitaker. Thank you for your work. And I want to say thank you to every one of you in this room. It's a hectic time right now, and I apologize. I'm going to sneak out very quickly here, but I wanted to come because I've been here now at your convention for years, and I want you to know I'm all for you. And we are on the verge of transformation and dramatic new growth in our tourism and convention business. I'm committed to it. We're already showing the early signs, but we're going to be on a rocket ship here in the next couple of years. I want you guys full in your hotels. I want your restaurants full. I want your businesses booming, and we are going to do it, especially here in the Southland. With the people, the workforce we have here, with the transportation network we have here, with all the attributes, this part of Illinois is going to be booming, and I'm committed to make it happen. I've been out to Seattle to meet with Amazon. We've got them building distribution facilities here in the Southland, aggressively employing thousands of people. Amazon loves Illinois, loves our people, loves our location, loves our distribution facilities, loves our transportation infrastructure, and they love the Southland, and we are going to be aggressively marketing the Southland to Amazon and many other companies. I've been traveling around the nation, going out to the East Coast and West Coast. We still, despite some of our challenges, we still have lower tax burden than California, New York, New Jersey. And we have the better people and the better location. We are going to be marketing you guys very aggressively, and we're going to have some big announcements coming in the very near future. Now, I just got back from a trade mission to Asia. The first time I went to China was as chairman of Choose Chicago. I went there with Mayor Daley back about 7 years ago, I think, 7 years ago. The Chinese, the leaders, they remembered, I was very honored. They remembered me. They loved the mission I took with the mayor. They love Illinois. China is committed to growing their investments in America, especially here in Illinois. They love Chicago area. They love all the advantages we offer, and we're expanding more direct flights between Chicago and cities all around China. And China is going to drive tourism like has never been driven before around the world here in the coming years. And we want to make sure Illinois and the Southland benefits from all the many Chinese visitors who've risen up from poverty up into the middle class and beyond the middle class with the booming economy they've got coming. And they love tourism, they love coming to America, and we love having them come here to Illinois and the Southland. And we also were over there with the University of Illinois. We signed a memorandum of understanding to expand the partnership between the U of I and Zhejiang University, which is one of the great technology universities in the world. We're going to be exchanging more students, more faculty. And this is going to drive more visitors, more investment, more folks coming here between Chicago and Champaign. And you know who benefits when Champaign and Chicago are more interlinked? The Southland. No, that's right. That's exactly right. We are going to be expanding aggressively. Now, and I'm also leaving for Israel in 3 weeks. We are going to be signing more memorandums of understanding between the U of I and Technion and Ben Gurion and other universities over there. They have world-class research universities. They love Illinois. They love our location, our center of the United States here. And we are going to be expanding our innovation and technology investment here in Illinois in partnership with the Israelis. Very exciting for more visitors, more business, more investment here in Illinois and all around the area of Chicago, and especially here in the Southland. Big opportunity in Israel. And then a couple months after that, I'm going over to Europe, going to UK, Germany, and Poland, all of whom are great partners, all of whom are major investors, and we are going to be driving more tourism, more convention business, more investment from those nations here into Illinois, especially here in the Southland, because of the people here in the Southland, because of the transportation network here in the Southland. This is an exciting time. We've got big challenges, but you know what? We overcome our challenges by working together, solving our problems, and getting things done. We are on the verge of major new economic growth. I'm committed. Right next week, we're going to be announcing our proposal that we're making to Amazon. You guys know that's getting a lot of press. It's awesome. It's exciting. I think we got as good a shot, better shot than any place else in the United States for their second headquarters because of our people, quality of life, transportation networks, and our infrastructure of education, our university system with a pipeline of young technology talent. Amazon, I think we're going to get them. It's going to be competitive. A lot of cities are interested, but we've got a great chance. And let me put you as perspective on the Amazon opportunity. They're talking about 50,000 direct employees in Amazon, 50,000. And that's going to create another 120,000 indirect jobs in metropolitan Chicago area. Think about those numbers. 50, 120. Put it in perspective, in the entire state of Illinois, including Chicago, for the last 17 years, you know how many net jobs we've created? 34,000. Keep that in perspective. And I'm all about taking that 34,000 in 17 years and making that 10 times that number the next 17 years. How we're going to do it is by investing in our education, investing in our infrastructure, and making us the most productive place for anyone to come in America and invest and build a business. We're going to announce a major expansion of the University of Illinois very shortly. University of Illinois has one of the largest, highest qualities engineering, computer science schools in the world. They supply the tech talent to Seattle. They supply the tech talent to Silicon Valley. They supply the tech talent to Route 128 in Boston. And you know what? we're going to have them supply the tech talent in the Southland and in downtown Chicago and in Champaign and Rockford and Peoria. We're going to transform the way the U of I works, and in partnership with U of C and Northwestern University, we're going to invest and grow here and keep our tech talent here and bring the companies and venture capitalists here to metropolitan Chicago, Champaign, Rockford, Peoria, and the Southland. We're committed to do it. Exciting announcements coming. We look forward to working with you. We want you booming. I'm committed, bringing down the regulations on you, bringing down your tax burden, making Illinois pro-growth, and marketing you guys as the place to be and do business and for visitors to come. Keep up the great work. We're going to get great things done together. God bless you. Have a great meeting today. Thank you.
David was appointed director of Cho Chicago in June of 2016. Chicago currently welcomes over 54 million visitors annually. Cho Chicago's goal is to target, negotiate, and confirm 55 new major convention bookings each year, representing 2.6 million room nights in future business for partner hotels and McCormick Place. Prior to Cho Chicago, David was the chief marketing officer of Brand USA, the destination marketing organization for the United States, in partnership with the U.S. Department of Commerce. Before Brand USA, David was president and CEO of Tourism Toronto for 8 years. During this period, on 2 separate occasions, Tourism Toronto was named the #1 CVB DMO in North America in a poll of over 650 meeting planners. Here to speak on the strength of tourism on a regional, state, and national level is David Whitaker. Please join me in welcoming one of the Illinois tourism's heroes, President and CEO of Cho Chicago, David Whitaker.
That was a wonderful introduction, just like I wrote it, so thank you for that. Thank you. You know, obviously following our governor is a tough challenge. I just wish he brought more enthusiasm to his presentations. But that's going to be tough to top. And again, if he were here, and those of his associates and those of you who know him, he is a champion of tourism. He's been very kind to our industry under some very tough circumstances. But his articulation today was spot on. We do also have an inner knowledge of his time when he was the chair at Cho Chicago. Many of you knew him then or knew of him. So he really has had his hands in the grassroots. I'm just glad he wasn't the chair at the time they recruited me. I might not have gotten the job. He's got such high expectations. So, and again, I'm just so impressed. When Jim called me, and asked me to be your speaker, I said, well, who said no? But and then he sends me the materials, and I'm like, gosh, I got to work out now, and I got to eat salad and diet. But I love the theme. What I love most is what you're going to do later, and I'll be here for it. There's a similar initiative done with the Illinois Hotel and Restaurant Association in Chicago, and these hero events are really what it's all about. And so in advance, for those heroes who are in the room, whether you're a winner or a nominee or previous winner, this really is what it's all about. And the work you do every day, sacrifices you make to serve our visitors. We would not be able to achieve the success we have as destinations if it weren't for you. So my heart goes out to you, and I look forward to celebrating the winners. You are really the heroes of today. Let's hear it for these heroes in advance. When it's kind of ironic, all kidding aside, when Jim asked me to speak, I'm like, well, gosh, I don't want to come in here and as the president of Cho Chicago talk about all that we do. I mean, I'm respectful. And in fact, really, Jim, the great video you showed of all the successes and the metrics, you're doing a fantastic job here. And so the last thing I wanted to do is come here and say, well, here's what we do. And it would be a relative repeat of what you do, but that's what we do. So I do have some slides that just put it in context of what we're doing at Cho Chicago and some of the impact. But I don't want to just talk about it as a Chicago initiative. It's really reflective of what we're challenged with what some of our strategies should be, some of the things that are driving, and I think Jim and I are in agreement on this, some of the things that are the challenges and what's driving the decisions we make, and where we can all go from here together. So do forgive the Chicago focus, but that's kind of my day job. And you're very much a part of that Chicago fabric. The more success you have here, it's going to benefit the downtown hotel community, obviously. If you're struggling and your rates suffer, that's going to hurt rate integrity in the region. If you're thriving and booming and your rates are way up there, that's music to the ears of most downtown hoteliers. If your venues are full, that helps us, whether it's in the sports context or the tour and travel context or the attractions context. If we're doing well, all boats are floated by high tide. So we are inextricably tied. And I didn't think I could say inextricably tied. That's a tough word to get off your tongue. But we are. And Jim knows that. And in fact, in my year here, I've only been here a year, the relationship we have, and there are several other CVBs here in the audience, but the relationship we have, and Jim's been been at the table and leading that for a long, long time. And Jim, you've been nothing but wonderful to me in my first year. You reached out to me right away. When you're crazy excited, you call me, which can be a long conversation. You probably know that well. I think I've been successful kind of saying, Jim, you're here, we need you here. But there's not a more passionate, really, I mean this sincerely, there's not a more passionate tourism champion than your guy right here. So, Jim, congratulations on all you're doing. And I'm only going to brag one time. If you fly in American Airlines anywhere in the world for the next month, for the month of October, maybe some of you have already seen this, but we were able to negotiate and do a 22-page special section on Chicago. And it's not just on tourism. But do get your hand on this, or get on an American Airlines flight, because it really is a great story of the region and some of the things that we're doing. We did this to coincide with our bid for Amazon, and the mayor's more confident. In sales, we never say we're going to win. We hope we can win. We'll try to win. He's uber confident, and he's got a lot to be confident for. We're contributing our efforts. Our ad agency is doing the pitch. Obviously, the quality of life is at the heart of tourism, and I'll close with some of those remarks later. But that would be an amazing, amazing victory for this state, for this region, for you, and for us, if we could pull that off. So we'll keep our and if you're into that, and I am, pray about it, and please pray that we can be successful, because that would help us go a long way. So, like I said, I got a couple of slides that really are only for illustrative purposes, or maybe not. I'll point it this way. I'll point it that way. Which way would I point it? I'll point it. Okay, so we're going to improvise. So again, small print, but similar to your numbers and some of the governor's numbers. 53, almost 54 million visitors. And our goal is, of course, our mayor has made a stated goal a few years ago of 55 million. We feel that that's within our grasp. That's another extra million. It's against a lot of headwinds, but we feel that may be something that we announce at the end of the year based on our trend. You can see the number of, can I go back a slide? You can see the number of leisure visitors and the number of business visitors. What I will challenge us with, and you, is we only attract 1.56 million international visitors. That's woefully inadequate. I'm not criticizing anything that was done in the past year. Others, now, obviously the New Yorks of the world and the Los Angeleses of the world, the Miamis of the world, and I spent a lot of time in Miami, they enjoy 10, 6, and they're coastal cities, they're gateway cities. We have some weather challenges in parts of the season that international tourists would avoid. But we are not batting our weight. We're not punching at our weight, batting at our average to only have 1.5. I am absolutely committed. I don't know what the number can be. It should be at least 2-3 million. And that would make a huge difference for this entire region. And Corey and I are collaborating on a lot of things with the Illinois Office of Tourism. And again, Corey, congratulations on all you're doing. You've been a great partner. International visitors stay twice as long. Their party size is twice as big, and they spend twice as much. So why would we not want them in our region? And they don't just come downtown. They'll be all over the place and all over the state. So we're doing a lot of things, and hopefully in the few years to come, you'll see some great success in our ability to bring international visitors here. And then, of course, our convention center efforts at McCormick Place, a beast of a facility, but those delegates are really important because they become ambassadors for future meetings in the entire region. Of course, the governor talks about this a lot, even in Chicago, where we've added 5,000 jobs. There is no other industry, and you can use this in your own articulation locally. I'm sure you do. There is no other industry in this region that has added the percentage of job growth that tourism is growing. And again, unfortunately, we're not going to see a lot of manufacturing growth and the traditional industrial plant growth. But tourism is a growing sector. 1 in 9 jobs in the United States are tourism related. And so we have a tremendous opportunity. Now we need the resources and of course the economic impact, but we're creating jobs. And there's not a state legislator, city legislator, local municipal legislator who doesn't want to talk about job growth. So we have to continue to challenge ourselves to every day articulate what we do as it relates and translates to job growth and job creation. And I encourage you to do that in every way possible. You'll be helpful. I'm going to attempt this. Maybe it's working. Again, just even in our local world, the taxes that these visitors generate have a huge economic impact. For every dollar we at Choose Chicago receives from the state, it's generated $40 million in taxes for the state. Now, if I were an investor or a hedge fund manager, I'm glad he's not here. But if I were, if I spent $1 and earned 40, I'd find a way to spend $2. I'd find a way to spend $3. And that's what we got to be talking about. I mean, there is no one who disagrees that tourism is the economic driver that it is. There's no one who disagrees the return on investment. We all are so proud of that. You have helped create that. But if we spend $1 and could make $40, why aren't we talking about spending $2? Right? All we talk about is hanging on to the dollar we got, unfortunately. But we just got to figure a way to challenge ourselves to do that. And I'm absolutely committed, as we are at the statewide level, to helping our industry have a shared voice in these things we're doing are creating jobs, they're generating tax revenues, and the return on investment is uncomparable. Obviously, our hotel community, including the hotel leaders here in the room, and again to the chair of your board and the hotel leaders that you have in your community, thank you for your leadership. None of us would be successful without our hotel partners. They're the largest employers, obviously. They carry the heaviest tax burden, unfortunately, and regulatory burden. But it's their investment in a community that really opens the door for so much, no pun intended. And so you can see the success of hotels. Speaking of hotels, one of the double-edged swords is you talked about the great growth here, and Jim, you mentioned a few of the new hotel properties. There have been this is good news, bad news. There are 25 new hotels that have opened in Chicago in the last 3 years. And just last week, a 1,200-room Marriott has just opened. In fact, that's on our campus. We get to manage that, so it's a little better. But unfortunately, the hotel community is not seeing some of the benefits of these volumes because that's just so many more slices of the pie. And so they're not able to push occupancy points. And when supply and demand, when you can't push occupancy points, you can't increase demand, you can't increase your price points. And so they're not able to be as profitable as they once were or as their investment models would reflect they need to be. None of us are going to be happy in this room in any business we run with a 1-2% growth. But that's what we're having to budget for now because there's so many more hotel rooms in the region. Now, it's a double-edged sword. That's more jobs. That's more taxes. That's more vitality. That's more marketing effort, especially in Chicago where some of the new hotels are very cool, trendy hotels. That adds to the ambiance of the community. But it's a double-edged sword for sure until we can get those hotels filled. This is a bit of an eye chart, but it's kind of the numbers that we look at. So for the year, you can see that, again, and I'll just draw your eyes to the bottom, because room supply is up 3.6%, is still outpacing demand. So we're kind of happy to grow 3% right now. That's about halfway in the pack in the country. The best cities are growing at 5%. A lot of cities are flat. We're growing at 3.2%, which is twice the growth rate last year, so I'm proud of that. But because there's 3.6% more hotel rooms, we're not growing occupancy points. And so although some of these numbers are very comfortable for us and we feel successful, we're not being successful in terms of driving occupancy. So again, one way to do that is to get more targeted guests. That's sport tourism, that's small meetings, that's tour groups, that's international visitors in general, because we can only milk the cow we have so much. Over 84% of all of our visitors in Chicago come from the 6 neighboring states. That's wonderful. We're their playground. You're their playground. But we can't. How many more can we get from Wisconsin and Milwaukee, and Michigan and Indiana? They're all coming already. So how do we grow? We're going to grow in Chicago's context. We need to grow by getting people from San Francisco and Los Angeles and Denver and Washington, D.C. and Miami, Boston and New York. Urbanites who work too hard in their own communities, just like you do, to play in their cities. So they go and play on vacation. And they want great restaurants, and they want great theater, and they want great hotels. And so we need to attract those people because we have that product for them right here in this community. And you have that product in terms of some of these niche markets. So we're going to be talking a lot about niche marketing in the future. But that's the double-edged sword of some of these numbers. And again, we always want to be compared to the best, and how are we doing otherwise nationwide? And so in our competitive set of these 10 cities, last year we were not performing very well, and at least we're moving up the chart. So we've moved, a little bit up. Now, part of that is because it's just real stagnant. You can see by these points that the hotel industry across the country, due to a little bit of oversupply, possibly because of a lot of investments that for 5 or 6 years prior, there was no investment. The stock markets changed things, the economies changed things, the investment models, the developer model that's used, and there has been a growth spurt in the last several years. That's good news. But of course, it's sluggish on occupancy points. And we're not doing well as a country in attracting international visitors. You could talk about the Trump effect, and I'm not. But we need to be the most welcoming, inviting country, state, region, and city that we can possibly be. And I challenge you. Are international visitors going to feel welcome here? Are they going to know where to go? Is there going to be information that they can relate to that helps them feel like at least they're not lost? Do we have staff who can speak to them in Mandarin or Spanish or French? So those are the kind of things. If we want more international visitors, we also need to talk about how we make those international visitors feel welcome here, because other cities perhaps are doing a better job at that. You got to get started. You got to do it in small ways. It could be even interns who are language proficient, but it could be small welcome tent cards in multiple languages. But just like when you and I travel around the world, if we don't know the language and we're lost, we're not going to have a very good time. And so in a time where the United States is possibly being perceived as less welcoming, at a time where people are trying to get international visitors, it's a very competitive landscape. What are we doing? What are you doing to help us be welcoming to international visitors? It's just something to think about. And a tremendous opportunity for us. And I'm not going to be happy until we're on the top of this chart. We made a big leap, doubling our productivity last year, and so we'll keep at it because we know how important that is. And the same thing for just comparing ourselves. Now, in our competitive set, demand, I'm super excited about that. We're up to at least third in demand on the leisure side. We're kind of full with the convention side. And so we need to grow our leisure visitors. You probably need to grow your leisure visitors. And so that's something that we want to focus on. The pace looks good for the future years. 19 is still a challenge year. You probably are facing the same thing. We're focusing on building a lot of business for 19. I would have given you a lot of key updates the mayor did. Jim just whispered to me that the soda tax was defeated today. That's I should end with applause, but I'll take a risk. My last phrase, and then I'll let you go. I think about this every day, and I want you to think about it a little bit every day. A great city to work, live, and play is a great city to visit. What visitors want to do is what you and I want to do. They want to be in clean, safe streets. They want to feel comfortable. Home is not just where you're from, it's where you fit in. And so how do we create a home environment? Now, again, that's something that's your strength, our strength here in the Midwest, especially in the Chicagoland area. Hospitable, warm hospitality. But a great city to visit has to first be a great city to live, work, and play. And I know your mayor knows that, and the mayors that are part of this region. I know our mayor knows that. I know the governor knows that. If we make this region an incredible place to live, it'll become an incredible place to visit and vice versa. And so it's the commitment to the arts, it's a commitment to theater, it's a commitment to museums, it's a commitment to attractions, it's a commitment to clean, safe streets. It all works together. But a great city to live, work, and play in, and that's what you and I want for our neighborhood, is an incredible neighborhood to visit. And if we focus on that repeatedly, I think we'll all have great success and be the economic powerhouse that Jim and I aspire us to be. Thank you for your hospitality. I look forward to continuing to be your partner.